I'm Chajua. In today's episode, let's talk about English a little more. See, before learning English efficiently, it's very important for us to understand why English is so important in today's world. In 21st century, wherever we go, be it a mode of communication, be it for business, be it for education, English has been adapted by many countries as a primary language. Though English is an official language for almost more than 60 countries throughout the world, and of course, it's been considered as a native language for hardly 6 to 7 countries, a hand-picked one. But, however, English has impacted the current education system as well as the business system so much that without knowing this language, it's very difficult for us to survive or sustain in those areas. Let's say if you want to become a doctor, but in order to become a good doctor, you need to study good books which are written in the field of medicine. And those books are written or even translated effectively in English. Let's say you want to become a scientist, or maybe a computer genius, or could be of any engineering field. The majority of the scientific books and mathematical books are written or translated and circulated in English. So if you want to explore your knowledge, you must, I call it, you must have an efficient knowledge of English. Now, let's understand how English can be communicated. See, as a computer, the human body operates in a similar fashion. We have input device as well as output device. Let's say you're operating a computer, okay? In a basic knowledge of computer, we consider like your keypad is an input device, where what you do, you enter the codes or probably the instructions to the computer, all right? And then you get the CPU, which is just like our brain, which does the entire processing work. And after that, you have an output device. For example, for the computer, it could be audio, that's a speaker, or maybe the video, that's the monitor. However, for human being, okay, we have the input device, which are our ears, okay, we listen, as well as our eyes, okay, we read things. And we do have the output device, which is actually we speak, that's through the verbal node, as well as we go ahead and write. So what exactly happens is we need to work it out in an efficient manner how we can utilize our input devices, that we should improve our listening skills. Because if we are expecting to listen and understand English, it should be processed properly in our brain, right? Similarly, we need to improve our reading skills so that whatever books we are reading, we can understand them effectively, and then we can do the entire processing. The better our input devices are operating, or we call like the better we are able to listen and read English, the better we can process through our brain, and then we can go ahead and utilize our output devices, that we will be able to speak better as well as we'll be able to write better. So this is the need of English. Let's break it out into few tiny parts. How exactly we can use English in our day-to-day affair. Let's take an example. If you're from a country like India, or from Latin America, or from Europe, be it anything, though English is not your first language, but English is considered as an official language to communicate. Especially, let's take an example of India. In India, we have multiple states. Each state has its own unique local language, which can be also called as an official language. Major states. Now, if you want to communicate, apart from a local official language, you do have English as an alternate. So when two people are communicating who belongs to two different distinctive states, they can have a common language to communicate. That is English. Be it verbal or non-verbal. Let's say they want to communicate through emails. So obviously they'll be writing the particular emails in English. Or they want to go ahead and have a video conference or maybe a telephonic conference through mobile or landline. So how they'll be communicating? they can communicate effectively in English. Why? Because each of them can understand each other and express the desired point. That is called an effective communication. You should understand the person and then you can express your personal thoughts in an effective manner. If you're not good in English, what will happen? You may have understood the entire point, but you will not be able to express your viewpoint in an effective manner. Just expressing the point is not important. It should be conveyed in such a way that the other person will be able to understand it. And especially if you talk about business or maybe a job interview, that is very, very challenging for you because your target is you have a ton of knowledge in terms of your subject, but you are not able to convey to the client, or probably you are not able to convey to the HR because your language of communication is not effectively conveyed. So if you're good in speaking English, then whatever details you have, whatever questions the particular person will ask you, be it a business person has to answer about the product's requirement, be it a candidate who has to answer to the HR regarding a question raised in the HR interview. So you will be able to go ahead and answer it effectively and convince them with the answer that this is the right answer related to the question. That can be only possible if your speaking skills are good. So that's the need of English. All right. So in our next videos, we'll be talking about in all the categories, how exactly each and every categories are important. We will be also talking about few of the English proficiency tests, which of course, it's not mandatory in most of the countries to go ahead and appear for, but there are a lot of countries where it's really mandatory. If you want to study there or if you want to work there, it's very, very important for you to prove your proficiency in English. And of course, there are different levels of measure. So we will talk about it through the English proficiency test details, be it of IELTS or PTE. Okay, so till then, see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.